This is Danny Fallon for Eat, Sleep, Box and Repeat in Liverpool, joined by a legend of British boxing, $1 Million Craw, Anthony Croy. Before we go into boxing, a lot I want to chat to you about. What do you make of this location, Anthony? We're in Anfield, we're behind enemy lines.
It's killing me. You know what, I've had some great memories here, I've also had some bad memories regarding coming here, sat in the away stand, and you know what, I was actually in here last season. My mate, he's got execs here, so we sat sort of not far from here, and it was a horrible performance, but no, I've had some good times here as well though, but yeah, listen, I think last night as well, it was played till they get a goal as well, so no, all good.
They'd still be playing now, mate, if they didn't score.
But no, it's good. Listen, I do like coming in.
I think you have to say objectively it's a good setup here. We're here for the Smith McKinney card. You're down with road trainer Joe Gallagher and Natasha Jonas. Massive unification fight with Patricia Berwickholt. Just what's your thoughts on the fight? What's your thoughts on Berwickholt as an opponent?
No, she's a good opponent. It's a good opponent. You can see, full of confidence, good amateur background. Listen, it's a tough fight. It's a tough fight for Tash. But she's prepared. Tackles like she always does. I think one thing I always say about Tash, she's got lovely skills, feet, but people know when they've been hit by her. I believe she's one of the biggest punchers in the sport. On the women's side for sure. I think you just have to look at her record from last time out, a fantastic knockout. And I think at some point she will catch up. But listen, there's no denying it's a tough fight. You can see there's a lot of respect between both girls, and it'd be great to see her add that WBC belt to the WBO one.
You mentioned Tasha as a puncher. She's got one of the, if not the highest knockout percentage of certainly any British female boxer, of 8 knockouts and 11 wins. She looked last time out really strong, up at 154. I know that wasn't the weight she was in at, but almost looks better than ever at 38th.
Yeah, she's not a 154 fighter, but the opportunity arose and she took it. She could still listen. I don't think she'll mind me saying, I don't believe that she'd be making super feather no more. But she could drop down away, but she looks really well at it, and I think with the speed, and I think at that point in her career, she don't like to mention her age, and she doesn't look it, but what she does, she might not have the hard sacrifices of really boiling yourself down in weight, but she still has to eat correct, but she can just eat more of the good stuff. She's probably leaner now. I think I heard her say before, she's leaner now than what she was for the Harper fight, which seems crazy considering there's 130 to 154. Do you know what I mean? That kind of difference. I know she's not going to weigh at 154, but shows that she's put the muscle on, doing it the right way. Great fight though. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, you and me both. Just while I've got you here, and just want to chat a few things general. Your former opponent of yours, Vasily Lomachenko, seems to be penciled in, provided both men come through their respective fights, for the fight with Devin Haney, sort of the undisputed champion now, sort of the new blood in lightweight division. Just your thoughts on that potential fight, having shared the ring with one of the best fighters of our generation, Lomachenko.
With Lomachenko fighting the winner of Haney Kambosos.
Yeah, Lomachenko's got to get through, I think, Jermaine Ortiz first.
Got to come through Ortiz, yes. Sorry. I think it's a fantastic fight. I expect Haney to come through against Kambosos again, like the first time. But as I've said about Haney, I believe he finds a way to win, and there is. I got pelted a little bit for it, but I think there is similarities to Mayweather in sort of the way you can control the fight, not having to do too much. However, against Lomachenko, listen, he's not been active for obvious reasons, but I've still said it. You've got to have Devin Haney as the #1 lightweight in the world, because he beat the man. You beat the man. You beat the man. However, I believe the best lightweight on the planet is Lomachenko. That sounds like contradicts himself. You've got to have, Haney's #1, but I believe Lomachenko performs. He beats him. But it's a great fight, fascinating. It'd be great to see him back. I think, like you say, it's been well documented the troubles that's gone on in his homeland. But boxing's missed him.
Yeah, 100%. I think almost Lomachenko feels as if it has just been forgotten. People chat about these 4 kings, but
do you know what? I always used to say that when there was going on about, when he lost to Lopez in a close fight. It was mad. There was going about these 4 kings, and there was mentioning Ryan Garcia. Listen, all 4 I like a lot. There was Teofimo Lopez, Tank Davis was one of them, and the other one It wasn't compulsive.
Devin Haney.
Devin Haney, sorry, yeah. And it's crazy to think like, hang on, so you don't have Lomachenko as one of them, whereas I would back him against either one of them now, but I like to say Haney, I think you've got to put him right for the source #1 in the division.
There seems to be a reluctance amongst, obviously Teofimo Lopez now up at 140, but amongst those, your Ryan Garcia, big fight with Gervonta David, continually messing, is it going to happen? It seems unlikely. There seems a reluctance with, once fighters, maybe stateside more than here, but once they become that big commercial draw, there's just, right, we're not fighting each other. Whereas you yourself, for example, you were a fighter, stepped in Linares, twice Barroso, Lomachenko, whereas we're not seeing that as much now with these young lightweights.
No, and I said it, when everyone was going on about those 4 kings, I'd be surprised if we see hardly any of those fights made. And it's a mad shame because obviously Ryan Garcia, Tank Davis is a great fight. That might happen, but then there just seems a little bit of politics, a bit of egos involved in the fight, which may stop it. Lopez, I knew wasn't staying around at one fight. He's massive. I met him in person, and you know what? Really good guy in person as well. I know he said a few controversial things, but really good guy in person. He was but he was huge, absolutely. I've said for the Kambosos fight, I was like, he's never ever seen 135 again, and he did. Do I believe it affects his performance? Yeah, massively, but then credit to Kambosos for carrying it out. But I'd be interested to see how many of those, out of those 4 fighters mentioned. But I think Haney's another big lad at the weight.
Yes.
I think we see some of those fights, but not at 135.
Lastly, in the current lightweight division, of that sort of young crop coming through, you mentioned how highly you rate Haney. Do you think he's the best of the lot?
Out of Haney,
Tank Davis, Ryan Garcia.
I don't know about that. That's a good question. I think Lomachenko, I back him to beat any of them. But out of that, that's a tough one. You know what? I like Garcia. I think I've said it a lot of the time. Luke Campbell was a very, very good lightweight, one of the best.
That's arguably the best win at lightweight.
Do you know, when you look through that, for me, the Luke Campbell win was more impressive than the Kambosos win. And that, I know that sounds a bit wrong because he had the belts, but that's just what I believe. I believe Kambosos, he had a job to do and he'd done it, he fought spiritually, but he was also in the right place at the right time. And it's hard because, with Davis, no denying he's an unbelievable puncher, but I can't get my head around when people say, oh, he's pound for pound. Has he got the potential to be a pound for pound fighter? Yeah, I do believe it, and I just want to see him in the fights, but you can't be telling me, with this is no disrespect because, he's more than ample, but you can't be telling me Rolly Romero and, some of the Isaac Cruz is an handful, but are these seen as the top names in the division? They're not, and you're not really boxing the lightweight. So how could you? I don't know. It's a mad one, but would you mention it like that? Do you believe it's? I can see how they could all beat each other, but when I think about it now, who's got the best win there? I'd say Luke. I'd say Luke's the best win over there for Garcia, but then I could also see how Tank could knock him out. Likewise, Garcia. That's a tough one. That's a tough one to pick.
They're all obviously very talented fighters. As you said, it's how likely they fight each other remains to be seen. It just sort of comes to that whole wider point in boxing where, if these promoters and managers are saying if the bottom line's good enough for us, why would we make the fights? That sort of leads on to the next thing, is the sort of emergence of this influencer boxing. And we saw that KSI show last weekend. DAZN have picked that up. It's clear that's something they're going to run with. What's your thoughts on that? Because it's clear it's not going anywhere.
Yeah, no, I've said it for a bit. What I've said a while back was, do you know what it does sometimes? It creates opportunities for professional fighters on the undercard who wouldn't get it. So I don't have that problem. The show last week, is that first of all? Surely the British Boxing Board haven't sanctioned that, and they didn't, did they?
I'm not sure what the sanctioning was. Would they be able to have the show in Britain without being sanctioned by the Board of Control?
I'd have to check that, but I'm almost sure the Board of Control didn't. But listen, what I'll say is that last week, it's just, what worries me is white collar boxing with 10-ounce gloves. That's what I'm saying. So when raw novices get in there with 10-ounce gloves, hands wrapped, you're gonna get some knockouts. You're gonna get some dangerous knockouts. So that's where I'm like, I've got no problem in people having white collar fights whatsoever. I've got friends who do it, and if the match right, it's great entertainment. If the match right, the well matched. But I don't want to see. But that's just the way the world is. The world's mad. We've seen a packed out O2. Listen, how many fighters in the UK could you honestly go now? No, so how many fights, not how many fighters. Take Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury off there. You name a few fights now, what could pack out the O2 with the fighters? You couldn't do many.
Even Craig Richards, Josh Buatsi, plus Chisora Pulev together didn't fill it out.
Exactly. Which, you know, two great fights. But that's just the world we live in. But it's mad because it's not going anywhere. But I think as the board obviously can't sanction that. I'm pretty sure they did last week. It's white collar boxing. But with 10 ounce gloves, I think it's a little bit dangerous. Boxing's always dangerous at any level, but that adds to the danger.
Yeah, we even saw a couple of quite bad knockouts on that card. Just lastly, back to the real boxing, so to speak. Eddie Hearn spoke yesterday. He said Anthony Joshua, it's not surprised given the DAZN deal, he will be carrying on. He hopes to get him back in December. I know some people at Sky, Johnny Nelson, speculated as to whether that would be the case. Just your thoughts on Anthony Joshua return. I think Hearn said he could come back to the likes of the Manchester Arena, the O2 Arena.
It'd be great to have the AJ back at the arena. He's still an absolutely huge draw, one of the biggest draws in boxing. I believe that he does a lot of good stuff for boxing, as AJ. And obviously, listen, it did need addressing. You know, it was wrong. You know, his behaviour after the fight. But he's also done an awful lot of good for British boxing, for the next generation. And I think that needs highlighting a little bit more. But we'll see next time he's out. Anthony Joshua still sells out arenas and stadiums. It'd be good to have him back.
Just last word on yourself. How's life as a trainer treating you at Fox ABC Gym?
Literally leaving here, I'm going straight to the gym. I've got a few fighters on in 2 weeks. On the Wasserman show, Steve Woods got the.
Is that the one in Bolton?
Bolton, yeah. I don't know if you're there, but yeah.
Hopefully get the credentials.
Yeah, I've got 2 on there, and I've got Rhiannon Dixon on the week later in Nottingham on the Leewood Lara fight. What a fight that is! But obviously, busy times in Manchester as well. We mentioned it, Joe Parker.
Yeah.
Some good times, some good fights coming.
100%, and I really appreciate you giving so much of your time, mate. Enjoy the fight.
Thanks, man. Take care, mate. I'll see you there.